All right,
All
we
right.
are live on Soulfire. Welcome everyone to the Chronicles of Chiron, the Lion, the Witch, and the Healer. I'm Christopher, the Astro Medium, Empath, Psychic. Jessica, introduce yourself.
I'm Jessica Tanselle, psychic medium, spiritual teacher, and healer. And I'm so excited to be here tonight with you guys. So excited.
Yes, and
Woo!
just a reminder for everybody why this is called this. So we're going to be talking shit tonight. We're going to be talking about ascension symptoms. We're going to be talking about some spiritual. I want to talk about synchronicities because I've been experiencing a lot of those, and I want to talk a little bit about that. We're going to talk about the new moon in Scorpio energies that we just had to deal with, and it brought a lot of stuff out on top of all the other stuff that's been going on. But this is called the Chronicles of Chiron because for those of you who don't know, Chiron is the wounded healer. It is half asteroid, half comet that rules our wounds, our insecurities, and we're all about healing those things. And when you heal that, you ascend. That's part of the ascension process, and awakening is coming to terms with what you have to heal. We both have a lot of Leo in our chart. We're both witches. We're both healers in our own right, and we're trying to transcend from that lower state, like the lion, into that higher state, getting that power, which is the witch, and then fully owning that, healing that, and then healing others, right? So, and that's why that's a perfect segue into what we just had to go through this past weekend, Scorpio energy.
I
So
have to say,
Scorpio energy.
Scorpio, and I love you, Scorpios. I love you, friends.
Scorpion energy is hard, it's heavy, it's deep, and it brings out a lot of fears and a lot of things that a lot of darker emotions, very human. Scorpio is the most human of all the signs. So tell me what's been going on with you. Tell me a little bit.
Actually, I felt great this weekend. I had my Reiki training. I trained a couple girls. They're now Reiki 1 and 2 certified. It was really awesome.
Awesome.
It was great. Felt good. Felt like finally grounded back in my body. And last
Uh-huh.
week we were coming off of that retreat, so
Uh-huh.
definitely, coming back to work on Wednesday, got grounded. That felt good. I definitely had a lot release. I didn't have a lot of ascension symptoms till yesterday. I got some head pressure. And with this new morning Scorpio, I don't know, it brought all the fucking crazies out. I mean, and I'm going to drop it fucking motherfucking 20 times.
Fucking do it.
I'm
That's
pissed.
what this is all about.
Okay, listen. Last night, yesterday afternoon, I had somebody create 2 fake accounts with my pictures. And Instagram won't take them down, even though they've been recorded like 100 times, until they have something proper from me, and they didn't accept what I sent them. Not only that, but I had somebody else had something kind of wacky off the wall happen, and then like my sister's car got broken into. I was like, fucking crazy shit. And so
Yes.
everything else is wonderful, but that broke me today because that is my motherfucking reputation. Oh, chill, motherfucker. Not really. That's not
Now that's the lion, everyone. So I just want to introduce you, the witch and the healer. She'll be back. The lion is here, the lioness. Okay. So just like in the Wiz or the Wizard of Oz, rah, but we actually, us with a lot of Leo, we don't like to be tested, and we've got to prove ourselves, and we got to get shit done. But deep down, we just want it all to go well, and we want to be appreciated, and we very much care about how people view us because we want to be loved, and we don't want to be taken as a scam artist.
Yes, but here's the thing. There's so much more to that than how I'm perceived. This is my fucking business.
Of course.
Fucking up my reputation. Fuck you. What did I do about it? I just sent out a lot of fucking love energy because nothing can exist in love. Nothing low vibration can exist in that. I had some great tips from other healers, like send it out through your finances, through your Instagram and your accounts and your website. So I sent it all that way, filled everything with love and light. But I did think about sending a hex or two.
Well, and that's because you are a human being, and because this is the kind of thing that we just got out of. I'm not saying that the new moon causes something. It influences a lot of things in all who exist on earth, and it's going to bring out darker emotions, more human emotions like greed or jealousy or resentment or jealousy. Let's go back to that one. Okay. Jealousy and envy and greed. These are things that we all have in us, and you have in you the ability to fight back and to fuck somebody up. So, and I know that, and I'm sorry that you're having to go through this. I'm going through my own shit as well. And on top of this, it's like we have to deal with the normal human shit.
My parents been trying to get through all day. They're like,
they're ringing my ear right now. So
I called in all my team. I mean, I cried to the archangels. I was like, make it go away. We talked, we cried.
Maybe we can do this when we're not on live, but you kind of have an idea of who this is?
No, but you're the third person that said this person knows me, so I hope you're out there.
So,
I hope I don't know you. Better hope I don't.
I really hope you find them, because we can bring them on alive with us.
Oh, I'd love to. Oh,
I'm sure you would. So,
hey, tell me about you before we keep, because I could go on.
Now, it's okay. It's okay. I just want to say we are going. Oh my God, the synchronicities are out of control. So I do want to talk about synchronicities, okay? Because a lot of people are experiencing this. Not everybody is, going through what you're going through, but a lot of people are going through, as part of the ascension process, a lot of synchronicities are happening. A lot of numerical or numerological synchronicities are happening. It's not just that. A synchronicity could be thinking about someone and them calling you the next day. But I have been seeing a lot of repeating numbers more and more and more. And I was just watching a YouTube video last night on synchronicities, because I love to hear other people out there in the world and their view on those things. And they were talking about, yes, it's quantum entanglement. There is an aspect of you noticing that, giving meaning to it, law of attraction bringing it more, but it's also signs from your guides and your angels. It's also feedback from your higher self. And a lot of times these numerological frequencies, when you see it, it takes you out of your lower vibrational human experience that you are supposed to have, that we can get caught up in, because there will be a part of you. Thank you. There will be a part of you that there is something that this is doing. I just heard this is actually going to bring you, okay, you got that? So yes, feel all of this, but you're actually going to get more client. Is somebody helping you with this? Somebody is helping you with this, or trying to figure this out, or has something, who's really good at computers or something. Okay, this person, you involved with them, is going to lead you to something really strange, like a website or something that, and you're going to, I'm sorry, but it's actually leading somewhere, just so you know. It's very much to your benefit right now. You will see that at some point. But
now, like, you hear the joking, like, thank you. I do see it now, and please keep going. But I just want them to know out there, like, you all just saw my 3D, but on the 5D, I really did send love and light, and do see, like, there's something happening here.
Yeah, and if you really want to get the lion involved, Leos, we love attention and praise, but we also love to be imitated.
Oh.
Because that's the most sincere form of flattery. You must have made it. Okay? So that you must have been if you're being used to scam other people, there must be something that they see in you that is magnetic. So we're going to take it as a compliment, as just as much as we're going to take it as a slap in the face. But a lot of times when you take a little bit away from the top, more foam rises. So This is just amping you up a little bit in a specific way, and this is going to help move you in a new direction on your business, because you're actually going to start doing things differently business wise. This is very interesting. So, but as I was watching this video last night on synchronicities, and as I'm talking about this, I really, 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 really wish that I could show you all right now, but I've got these icons down here on my screen, the face, not screen, screen, FaceTime, the App Store, and settings. Well, as soon as I started talking about all of that, I looked down and there's those red dots that tell you how many notifications? The FaceTime one says 11, the App Store says 1, and the settings one right next to it says 1. And that was where I was going, was the whole 11-11 bullshit that's been going on. And I'm seeing it a lot, but I'm seeing 7 and 13 are my numbers as well. But I'm seeing a lot of 333, 444, 222. Yes, I could just be looking for them, but they are happening when I least expect it. And a lot of times they're happening when I move to another room, when I pick up my phone. These are things that you can't look for. And yes, there are all kinds of connections, but they even say that when you see it, it takes you out of your three-dimensional experience. And a lot of them are codes, if you will. We talk about receiving these light codes, but these are almost activating you, getting you to, and sometimes you are in a thought process. Sometimes I'll be thinking, am I crazy? Am I sensing something? And then you'll see 222, and it's to let you know, keep going. It's like a trail of breadcrumbs. So the people out there who are experiencing this, please understand that even if it isn't angels, and even if it isn't you being communicated with, don't you see how connected everything is? And don't you see how real the law of attraction is? And that's where, when we go through certain things that we go through, okay, a lot of times with the law of attraction, there are things that we are attracting to us that we cannot bring to us because our belief has set. So we've got to get our desire sharpened a little bit, and it gets sharpened by giving us what we don't want first.
That's very true.
You get a contrasting or negative experience. This is Abraham 101.
Mm-hmm.
Negative experience, I don't want that. You send a signal to source that says, I do want, involuntarily, just by you not wanting. Mm-hmm. The opposite signal is sent, right. And then the desire for the more will supersede the belief vibration, and then it can manifest. And that is some of what's happening with you, but that's happening with all of us in certain ways. And it's not easy to stay in that, because sometimes you are forced, because there is a part of you that is triggered by this.
Of course.
Okay?
Yeah.
And that's okay. But there is a part of you that's triggered by this. And as much as we want to figure it out, and as much as we want to correct it, there's also that aspect of, what is it bringing up in me? Sure. And how, see what I mean? So, and you can go there because you're more awakened and because you are more conscious of these things. But last night I'm watching this synchronicity video, and it was crazy. I don't remember. I was watching the video and they were talking about all this. I looked at something on my phone and it said 222. And I was like, I put my phone down. I said, I'm going to get a drink of water. I go out into the kitchen, only because one of my fears, or one of my little trauma responses, is that I think everyone thinks I'm full of shit. And I got that from my daddy. Okay. But I swear to God, I walked out in my kitchen last night.
Oh, I can't see what number that is. Is it what? 11?
Ah, fuck. Yeah, it says 1111.
Yeah.
I walked out there and I just looked and I was just like, okay, this happens to me a lot, but it was 3 in a row. It was 1 and then the 222 and then 1111. It was like someone was listening to me listen to that video.
Mhm.
That could very well be my higher self, right? Leading me, or I could be being guided. I am going through a lot of things. I will tell you some of the ascension symptoms that are going on right now. There's a lot of throat activations happening. There is a lot of fatigue, especially around this new moon. There was a lot of fatigue, feeling inward, but just a general like exhaustion that I don't even normally feel, even though I'm tired a lot. And a lot of heavy emotions, and these, it felt like anxiety. Last night I felt like sometimes when I'm not grounded, i can my body will start to feel weird. I'll start to feel, there's been a lot of solar plexus activations as well, but I will feel my insides, they will feel different. I don't know how to explain this. I'm putting this out in the world because I don't know if anyone else has experienced this, but I have not smoked weed, and I'm not judging you if you do. I'm saying this is not because I have drank or smoked or anything. There's nothing going on. Okay. Vegan pizza, that is not going to cause any of this. Okay. So my insides feel weird. I feel off. I try to go to sleep, and it's always about 45 minutes or an hour after I've either gone to sleep or I'm trying to go to sleep. I will feel kind of a rising, or feeling like things aren't real anymore. And this is, I almost feels like I'm getting ready to astral project or something. But I never have actually done that consciously yet. And it scares the living shit out of me to think about it too, because my ego has a tight grip. So all I'm saying is this is what happened to me last night, and this will tend to happen around the full and new moon for me. The last time that happened to me, where I woke up in the middle of the night, about an hour after I went to sleep, kind of in a state of panic, almost like the ego is like, you better get back in this body. Something weird is happening to you. And I'll wake up in this panic. That was a couple days before the full moon, a couple weeks ago. So I do want people to notice these changes. And I got really, almost felt like my bones were hurting and my body was sore this new moon. So everyone just needs to be very patient with themselves and understand that it is hard to understand the cycles and rhythms. And of course, on a new moon in Scorpio energy, although the moon is not in Scorpio anymore, but for that new moon to happen there, this was going to cause it in everyone's life something a little bit more intense to take place. And this usually is within us, because I can guarantee you at another time and place, this situation would feel differently to you. It just would. Especially in the future, we could say that. But it could feel differently to you. It was like,
Well,
you can't piss off a happy bear. So there is.
It's felt like more anxiety. Like I haven't had a whole lot of anger. It's more of the anxiety where you mentioned, like last night with Scorpio, you felt the anxiety. So mine has felt more like that. And I've actually, through this, had a really great outlook, which is interesting because I thought about, okay, the new moon, and then, you know, the ascension symptoms and healing. I felt really empowered. Yeah, there's a little anger that's coming up tonight.
And it should.
But yes, how we handle it, like that's why we're bringing up Chiron and the new moon and how it's all going to be expressed so differently for each of us.
Well, I was screaming in my car on the way home tonight. Okay. And the day really, you know, I don't really want to talk about my job on here like this.
Sure.
And there is a lot of stuff that has come up for me, and these are very human things. And then when you add the ascension symptoms on top of it, you know, I did a meditation last night with you, and then I did one by myself to help me go to sleep and to ease me to sleep, you know, Scorpio new moon meditation. And when I do that, sometimes I will feel more activity. My body starts twitching and vibrating, and I have to have curtains over my windows, a fan going, because I will have these insane heat rushes in the middle of the night. And the fan also masks any sounds, and so I also have to wear those foam. I've started to twist them and put them in there, and it has been like, I can't thank you enough for that. I tried them before. I was like, these suck. They fall out. No, they're good. They stay in all night. Yeah. Thank you, sir. And I can feel them vibrating because my body is vibrating like a tuning fork.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, these strange chest pressures and these it's a lot to go through, and it's very taxing on the body. And then when you add up the stress of the everyday life and processing just normal emotions, and then you have emotions coming up that are from some other time and place that never got processed, and it adds to it.
Mm-hmm.
I get it. Sometimes we are healing something, and because it's coming to the surface, it's part of our vibration, so we bring it more to us, something else that will reflect that wound, okay? And not only that, they're showing me it then gets cleaned out more because you didn't need to try to stimulate it. Because of what happened out here, it was activated even more. And if we can choose to take that energy, get it out in healthy ways, and take it up and out instead of burying it or holding the resentment and things like that, you can feel whatever the fuck you want to feel, girl. I'm just saying, moving it out instead. If you can see it
on that, like the movement.
I know.
I'm so with you.
Yes, of course you are. But it's almost like this may have happened to heal something. I'm getting a lot of duh, but just like
whoa, that's what it.
So also, we in our healing journey, we will be face to face with similar things that have happened to us before, but in a new, more intense or dramatic way, because this has happened to you before.
Not in this way, you're right. Not
in this way, but where you have felt like you were done wrong or misunderstood or betrayed by specific people. And there have been, and this goes all the way back to school.
I have to think about school, but like where I went, my mind immediately went to the first man I lived with and how he scammed me. I'm like, yeah, let's clean that shit out.
I don't mean scam. I mean people
doing me wrong, stealing.
Yeah, taking your good intentions and trying to ruin your reputation or gossiping about you, these types of things. There's definitely something that happened with a friend, it feels like, in high school. So, and this feels like this is something that we're cleaning out for sure. And I have mine.
I'm open to clean that.
And every time we're presented with these things, it's kind of like, and I'll share with everyone, because I'm not afraid to get out here and say this. Talk about synchronicities. So this kind of ties everything together, is these synchronicities that also, because synchronicities are coincidences with meaning, okay? So 5 years ago, to make this story short, 5 years ago in October of 2015, I met a guy named Curtis. Curtis was not his first name, it was his middle name. And I started dating him. He was a recovering alcoholic who worked construction. I found him very attractive. He brought up a lot of insecurities in me because I felt like I wasn't attractive enough. He told me a week in that he deleted his dating profiles, and then in early November suddenly got cold and weird and broke up with me in a text. This October, I met here in Atlanta, because that was in Louisville. Here in Atlanta, I met a guy named Curtis, and Curtis is his middle name, who is a recovering alcoholic. Gosh, I'm just like, I hope he never finds this. Fuck it, I don't give a fuck.
I don't give a fuck.
A recovering alcoholic who works construction, who I was very physically attracted to, who, just like the first one, wasn't as smart as me, and that's okay. And a week in told me he deleted his profile that we met on, and then suddenly got weird in November. I mean, the timing, the name, the exact scenario, what it brought up in me. And just, I remember when you told me, how are you going to react differently to this time? Because these kinds of things happen to all of us, where we are revisited with things and we don't realize it in the moment because we don't have that conscious awareness. That's what the difference is between being asleep and awake. We don't have that conscious awareness. And then when you're faced with it again, you go, this is like a video game. This is a challenge. And because I'm awake, I know that it's a game and that I'm being sent something again. And it's pretty cool. Doesn't feel good. My ego and my human self does not like that this person got cold and got weird. I want to make out again. I want to feel those things. But then you start to see this higher perspective, and you don't even have to try anymore. You automatically go, I mean, and then it gets so good and it gets so synchronistic and life gets so weird that they send you somebody with the same name, and it was his middle name, who's all the same things. And I just thought, okay, this is obviously trying to get my attention, just like when you watch a video on synchronicities and you see something on your phone that says 222 and you walk out here and it says 1111. And it's just, although that happens to me a lot, the timing. There's something we're being communicated with, and it's to constantly let us know, we need you, human folk. We need you to keep going in this journey, because a lot of times you all get stuck, and a lot of times the ego will confuse you, and you will be looking, you will have desire for things that are not in alignment with where you're actually heading. And we're just going to keep reminding you, and actually you're going to keep reminding yourself, because just like a video game, you're going to get lost in that virtual reality, but you're going to leave little breadcrumbs and little signposts and little coins, like in Mario. Collect that coin, see that 1111 and go, thank you, higher self, or thank you, mom, or thank you, whatever meaning you've assigned to it. Know that you're being activated and that everything is connected, and that if you weren't heading upward, thank you, this is a message for me. If you were not heading upward, if things were just going to stay the same and get worse, it wouldn't get more, and it wouldn't be as almost magical as it is. There's a lot of magic that we experience in our lives, and I have experienced. And because it has come with so much difficulty sometimes, I can sometimes wish that I just was a regular person. Just because it just feels easier, but that is not the journey. So it keeps you going. And I trust that everyone who watches this video at any point in time is going to probably be drawn to this video in a very synchronistic way. People who probably went through something that you just went through, and someone who is going through something really hard, but has been seeing these synchronicities, but has not been sure what to make of it, and can now start to think, even when everything goes to hell, there's something showing me that it ain't always going to be like that.
Right. Synchronicities have been amazing, and in so many different ways for me, to the people that come around that remind me of certain people that may be gone, to the point where Spirit has been showing me my soulmate twin flame coming, like in different ways, and they're all the same. I'm like, oh my goodness. So I love how they're showing me those things. I feel like the synchronicities are huge right now, even down to you talking about Abraham Hicks, because I heard it yesterday, the day before. Somebody brought me a CD today. I love Abraham Hicks, but Abraham is like, would you please listen to me more? I'm like, okay. So it's just, those.
That was a synchronicity in and of itself for you right there.
Exactly.
They're happening to me all day. And sometimes it happens so much that it becomes not as meaningful. I will be honest. Oh, wow. It will happen so much that I'm just like, and a lot of times it's just a response to being so connected and so in tune and vibrating higher, is that your experience is going to reflect back to you, and you're going to witness it more. You're going to receive it more. But I am somebody, I'm like, I want it to be an angel telling me that everything's going to be okay, because I don't feel like that all the time.
Yeah. I do want to say yes on that. Actually, I'm hearing that a lot of your emotions are feeling really wild, specifically today. Is in wild is what I'm getting. So it's almost very, they're calling it ritualistic. This actually was not where I was going, but we're going to go there because they took me there. Very ritualistic and very like they're putting you in the middle of the jungle like Tarzan. So that may have been where that scream really came out, and it's not, it's actually feels solar plexus. I was going to take it deep down.
I've been having a lot of solar plexus. Last night, I was lying in bed, and of course my knee starts twitching, all the twitches on the bottom of my feet. I get a lot of muscle twitches. It's part of the Kundalini awakening experience. And this is important for everyone to know, that Kundalini and spiritual awakening are not the same thing. During your spiritual awakening, Kundalini awakening can cause a spiritual awakening, but a lot of times people go through a Kundalini awakening at some point after they're already spiritually awakened. And a lot of people never experience a Kundalini rising or Kundalini awakening experience, especially the way I did. And I just want people to know that it comes with a lot of symptoms. So a lot of symptoms that I experience, like the extreme muscle twitches and things like that, you may not. It does not mean that I'm going to go someplace consciously that you're not. I'm going to become more enlightened. You may have had a past life where you had an extreme Kundalini rising. And so you already did that when you came in. I'm just putting that into perspective for people. But right here, okay, right there, right below the rib cage and right in there, started twitching. And I was like, I said, because I get them right here. I'll get twitches. I'll get twitches now here. I get twitches all up in my arms. I'll get them for long periods of time, and they won't. Look, I've gotten twitches my whole life, like once a month or once every other month. You feel a twitch in your leg, or you feel a twitch somewhere, and it happens and it doesn't happen again for weeks. Or you get an eye twitch because you haven't drank enough water, or you're tired, and that goes on for a couple days, or you're stressed. That's not what I'm talking about, boo-boo. I'm talking about entire body shit going on. And so where the fuck was all that going? I'm gonna let you take over from here.
Well, I was just gonna say, like, I was getting ready to tell you before I went into something else. Like, I was gonna tell you, I've been having
ritualistic
everywhere. In fact, I was like, "Is it time to microdose?" And I was like, "Nope, I'm pretty sure I'm good."
Yeah.
I didn't feel tired. I felt energized. I didn't feel tired until they drained my energy yesterday. The situation, I felt, well, more today, actually, like midday, I was like, I'm about done with this shit. Like, so, but I feel the vibration, slight head pressure. But when I think about that vibration, I think about the healing aspect of vibration, shaking all that shit out. Like,
right.
Are again coming to the surface to release. That's why it's the Ascension.
Ooh, it's happening a lot right now.
Yeah, I had a ton this week. In fact, I get a lot of vibrations in my heart and in my solar plexus, especially when I'm working with somebody who also needs healing. They might not even know it, and spirit is like vibrating my body, and I'm like, I know that we're going to do healing together.
Right.
They will be like, listen, this needs to be healed. So I get those for myself too. Like right now, as we're sitting and talking, I have that healing vibration going in my. It's almost like I don't even it's like in my.
It's in that general area.
My sternum. So, but the vibrations that you're talking about here, like I have light pressure. I've had light pressure here. This is come out and like felt mucusy and like that's how it's comes. So just so you all know, there are different ways. Chris is getting it as a vibration, but mine.
And I also get it as swirling energy sphere, which is indicative and which can happen to a lot of people during the ascension process. But when you've gone through Kundalini awakening and your Kundalini is rising, and this does not happen over a few weeks, this can go on and it comes in waves, and it can go on for several years as it's clearing blockages and opening chakras. And mine started with this, and then it went here, and then it's going here now. Now the solar plexus, I've never really had solar plexus activity until just in the past few weeks. So, I mean, I'm eventually all 7 are going to get physical at some point. Okay. And I'm excited for some kind of healing.
Yeah.
The Kundalini knows what it's doing. It's extremely intelligent. And so it knows what it's doing, but it's hard for me to trust it because it brings a lot of shit to the surface. And it's hard in a world like today to be like, oh, I'll be fine. I'm going through Kundalini rising. It's going to force all this stuff to the surface. It's like as if your skin just broke out in these rashes, which Kundalini rising and awakening can do as well. But you're just supposed to be like, oh, it'll go away at some point. I have rashes and pimples all over me. I don't like the way I look right now. I want it to look different. Yes, the body's purging. There's things coming out. But my God, we've got to be patient.
Trust. When you talk about I don't trust them yet, do you know who that trust really is? It's for you. Like, you're not, and I'm going to say this with love, trusting yourself.
That's right.
Because when I teach intuition, I know what I experienced in learning my intuition, and it was hard for me to trust spirit because I didn't trust myself. But I trust spirit, I trust spirit, I trust spirit. But I didn't trust myself. I didn't trust what they were giving me was going to be right. And spirit will.
Because of you. Yes. I've had those issues as well.
This trust is actually about you trusting yourself and believing in yourself, because spirit's given you so much information and you deliver it so amazing.
Well, imagine what it's going to be like when I trust myself and I have gone through a lot of this healing. Right? Because this is just the beginning for me.
Sure, yeah. It does. So, it changes. It will be so powerful. I mean, it is already.
And it is already. I will give myself that. There are times where I'm like, this is fucking effortless. I'm so good at this. But I also want to keep getting better and more pure. And I want to get out of the way and be a true medium. I want to deliver it as purely as it is truly coming through.
Right. Well, I've been doing this for 5 years, almost 6. I still study with a mentor. I feel like it's important to continue growing and learning, because my techniques, you might get something from that. And then I'm like, oh, I love that technique. I'm going to try that. So you should always, for all of your intuitives, like, I encourage you to continue learning in some way.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And I that's what I want. And healing and learning are going to go hand in hand.
Oh, yeah.
So
always.
Because I can learn more and more and more from mentors, but what will make the most difference is as I keep working with them, if I keep allowing the healing to take place, which will allow more self-love and acceptance and trust. It's really the inner child work of trusting myself. And because I didn't trust certain things in childhood, and I was made to feel like I shouldn't trust myself. And so once that gets transmuted and healed, go ahead.
Yes. Sorry, Spirit is over here like, yes, and little Chris couldn't trust adults fully.
That's right. That's where I was.
Isn't trusting Big Chris yet. So Big Chris, like, I'm going to hold you, and I'm going to nurture you, and I'm going to pet you the way you want to be, loved. Mm-hmm. Big Chris needs to communicate with little Chris that, listen, I got this. Let me do it. Mm-hmm. That's what that is. Mm-hmm. Little Chris is like, I can't trust adults. You think I'm going to trust you? No.
Right.
He's still like, oh, Let me go get my heel.
That's
Right?
exactly right.
Let him go get his heels and then go put yours on. Go find him. Like, where in your mind, like, you know where he goes to hide.
Mm-hmm.
But be patient because he's not ready to come flying out of there yet.
Right.
He's going to fly out and be like, and go back in.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next time he's going to be like, okay, I'm not so pissed yet. But you are somebody that can be trusted.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to tell little Chris, but I hope you spend time with him to be like, I got this. I got this, boo. Look at us. Look what we did.
Mm-hmm.
Look at our friends. Look at our tribe. And yes, I'm still healing that. I'll work on that. I got it.
Mm-hmm.
We'll do it together, but I'll carry you.
Yeah, I've been doing more of that. Yeah, it seems to be coming up more. And it's funny, here in the past few days, I've gotten myself into some old patterns repeating or some thought spirals, and then, just telling myself, you got this, you're going to heal this, you're good. Talking to myself, you're going through these things. It's not always going to be like this, but you're actually actively participating in this. And that is what's going to make a difference. You're not going to end up like your parents. You're not going to end up like those other people. You are going to help other people with this at some point, but you've got to experience it yourself. I'm telling myself all of that. And I've got to tell myself that just as much as I tell myself, you shouldn't have done that. And why did you do this? And what kind of person do you think this makes you? And blah, blah, blah.
What you're telling me is we're both human.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all saw both our human and our spiritual self today.
And they are one.
And they are one. I heard too, and I went like this. I just heard, and you are so loved. And I was like, oh, I just want you to know I heard that for you. Like, and you are.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I want to love myself just as much because I have been made to feel bad about loving myself.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's got to go.
I want
it'll
you to
go.
love yourself and be like, look how beautiful I am and all that.
I'm working on it. I'm going to get there.
Anything that we need to talk about?
I'm good. This was an excellent segment. This was a very Scorpio segment. Okay. Lots of range of these different emotions, and they were intense and real and raw, and we gave zero fucks, and that's what Scorpio is all about. The moon is not in Scorpio right now, but the new moon in Scorpio was rather powerful, and the new moons are very powerful for me. New moons are not felt in the collective the way that full moons are, but there's more inward energy with the new moon. But new moon in Scorpio, this was very powerful. And then the next moon is going to be the lunar eclipse. And so we are really working our way into sealing the deal on this year. I mean, this is going to be a time to remember. And a lot of you all out there are going through things. And a lot of them, it feels like very human shit. But a lot of it is to be healed. It's things that are coming up to be healed. And a lot of you are going through a lot of these ascension symptoms and don't know what's happening to you. There are people who were not ever spiritual who are going through these things. They were not spiritual or metaphysically inclined. I was meditating. I was reading Abraham. I was into Bashar. I was wanting to channel. That was all before I admitted anything about myself or had my Kundalini experience. I felt my third eye pulsing for the first time 5 years ago, which is not a long time, but there are people who don't know what that feels like.
Right, you're right.
By this time, I'm just like, you all don't see those sparkles and those blue things and that prana? You don't see that? It gets to be so normal that you just start to think, oh yeah, I see shit with my eyes that other people don't see. But I'm still human and I still wonder in the middle of the night, am I hallucinating, or are those like blood cells in the back of my eye? No, I know that. Sometimes there are things that are so unmistakable, but a lot of you are going through things that could be chalked up to something that you find on WebMD.
Yes.
And we are here to encourage you to, even if it is something physical and not magical or spiritual at all, it might be emotionally related and it can be healed. So
Yeah.
I'm good. I'm good tonight.
I'm good too. Well, tell me what you got going on this week, Chris. Fill us in. Where can we find you?
So everyone, if you are not following me on Instagram, you absolutely should at vthe.astromedium. Anyone who's interested in astrology, especially intuitive astrology and the Ascension and Awakening process, you should follow me there. Also, if you'd like to book a reading with me, you can go to my website at www.chrystopherwithawymedium.com. The link is in the description box.
All right. Well, I have an Oracle card masterclass on Sunday. It is virtual, so you will be able to be part of this class no matter where you are in the world. So you can find that on my website, thejessicatanselle.com. I have Monday Night Witch Tribe every Monday. We've been working on a lot of mediumship, and you can schedule a reading with me from my website. I encourage you to utilize my website. I do post on Instagram, and if you go to Instagram to find me, make sure it's the one that has like a decade of photos, that has many followers, that has many people I'm following. Like, you can find me there. I put a lot there, and I put a lot on my page, but my website is a great place to contact me and find me too. Awesome.
Perfect. All right, everyone. Thank you for joining us for the Chronicles of Chiron. We will see you all again next week. Have a wonderful night.
See you all later.